Welcome to the Hilarity Ensues podcast, hosted by Donna, the queen of quick wit, and Jeff, the dean of devious double entendres. Together, they're on a mission to find the funny in life using nothing but their critical thinking skills and sarcasm.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Hilarity Ensues. I'm your host, Donna, and joining me here today is my co-host,
Jeff.
Today's episode, I think it's something we're going to start doing on a little bit more frequent basis. And today's episode, I'm going to have it titled WTF, meaning what the Florida.
Shout out to Florida.
Okay. Yes, Florida never disappoints. It's giving us some material to use for today's show.
Oh, for sure. The gift that keeps on giving, Florida.
Yes. You know, what's so funny is that when I first moved to Florida, there was this guy that I know. You know him too. I'll tell you who it is after. But he used to always say this. He said this so many times that if I had $1 for every time he said it, I'd probably be a millionaire. But he said, you come to Florida on vacation and you leave on probation.
That's a great line.
And he said, it never fails that people show up to the state and something happens. Maybe it is Daytona spring break. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's October bike week, whatever. You come on vacation, you're going to leave on probation.
Right,
okay?
Right.
So at this point, nothing that happens in Florida, I think, can surprise me anymore. However, you shared with me this story because you are still living in Florida. And it's about a family from Houston, Texas, vacationing on a beach in Walton County, Florida. Are you familiar with what Walton County is?
I'm not quite sure where it is. I want to say it's north of me, but I'm not quite sure. Yes, it is. Okay, yes. It is north of me.
So Walton County is kind of up like Pensacola area, I would guess. So okay. It's right there in the Panhandle. Destin, Florida, that's a very I think Destin has a military base up there, but it's up in that area, all north and tucked west, close to Texas.
Yes.
Okay, that's where this all took place. So set the stage here. Mom and dad and their kids, they come on vacation. Remember what I said about what my friend said about coming to Florida on vacation? Okay. They come to Florida. They're at the beach in Walton County. It's a mom and dad and their kids. And of the kids, they have a 6-month-old baby. Okay? You with me here, Jeff?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
They decide, let's go for a stroll on the beach. They have their beach umbrella and their blanket. And they leave their baby asleep on the blanket under the umbrella and take their other kids and go on a stroll.
Right. Well, at least they protected the kid from the sun's rays.
Yeah. Okay. But you know what's so funny? Because I listened to the 911 call, and the woman that called, she wasn't what I would call your typical Karen.
No, she wasn't.
She wasn't. She actually fell into the class of people that they're looking to deport, but we won't go there. But okay, she called.
Yeah. I did catch the accent, but she was a very nice lady.
Yeah. She's like, and very nice. And she's like, I'm concerned. There's a baby here and the parents has walked away.
For a while.
How long was that while?
It was more than a couple of seconds and more than a couple of minutes. I've heard, at least the video I saw, it said 56 minutes. I've heard 58, but it's almost an hour. So it's just shy of an hour.
And that's the clock is starting from, I want to say, when the police arrive.
Right. Yeah. So it's more than an hour when you look at it.
Yes. Okay. So they're gone for an hour because we're going to round up here. And the police are there. Thankfully, one of the officers was a female officer. She comforted the baby because by this point, the baby was crying.
Right. Baby's like, where the hell everybody go?
Yeah. The baby's crying. And a female officer picks her up. She nestles her into her bosom, comforts the baby. Shout out to the female police officers out there. And the parents show back up.
Barely concerned.
Completely unfazed.
Yes.
Like,
yeah, we're back.
We're back. What's going on here? She was crying. Really? Yes, sir. You were gone for an hour. Oh, we must have lost track of time.
What? I was like, bro, when he said that, I had to hit pause. Like, are you serious right now? As a man who doesn't have kids, I know.
That you know of.
That I know of. Thank you for that. Yeah. You don't leave a 6-month-old for more than a few seconds. I mean, maybe 30 seconds. You dart into a room, you get back, but you don't leave a 6-month-old on the beach for an hour. That's just absolutely insane.
No, you do not. And here's the other thing. Here's what my first thought was when I started listening to it. I said, maybe they're tourists, right? Mm-hmm. Because I know there are parts of the world like Sweden and Norway where people, they bundle up their baby, they put them in a stroller, and they leave them outside their front door or in their backyard for naps, right?
Right.
And the reason why because I don't know if they do it in London anymore, but my older siblings were born in London. And my mother used to always talk about that. In the wintertime, they'd wrap them up, bundle them up, put them in the pram, as they call it, not the stroller, but the pram, the buggy, and have them sleep outside. And it's very common in those cultures to do that because it helps with their breathing and it's fresh air and blah, 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 blah. Also, they don't have, I'm speaking of like Sweden and Norway, they don't have the rate of crime that we have here in the US. They don't have pedophiles the way we have here in the US. Shucks, their police officers barely ever use their guns in their countries.
Big difference.
Big difference. So I'm like, oh, they're tourists. They just don't know any better. I was wrong. Because like I mentioned from the onset, these people were from Houston, Texas.
Yes, they should know better.
But you know what? You come to Florida on vacation, you go back on probation.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
So here's the other thing that surprised me. I don't know if you caught this, was that the husband and wife were both professionals.
Yes. Husband was an engineer.
Yes.
And the wife was some sort of executive. I forgot what field, but she was a big time executive.
Healthcare.
The irony. I just got hit in the face with the irony.
Yes. So these are educated people.
Yes.
How do you just like, I'm just going to go for a stroll on this coastline. Here's the other thing too. I went to the beach 2 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. And let me tell you what I had in my possession under my umbrella. I had a water bottle, a book, my cell phone, and my car keys.
Okay.
I wouldn't walk away and leave those behind.
Right. Not for like 30 seconds.
Let alone leave an infant behind. Are you kidding me?
I just don't get the mindset. Like, what were they thinking?
They weren't thinking, obviously. So here we talk about consequences all the time. We're going to get back to consequences. The police officers charged them with child neglect.
Okay, accurate.
Okay, because here, before getting charged with child neglect, they were so matter of fact. Oh, I'm sorry, we just lost track of time.
Right. He thought that apology was just going to wipe it away.
I'm sorry. My bad. My bad.
Fault. My fault.
Bad.
My bad.
I didn't know. Like a Seinfeld episode. I did not know you weren't allowed to leave a baby on the beach.
I didn't know that was a rule.
But they were charged with child neglect. So
both of
them.
Yeah.
Instead of jail time, they had to go through a pre-trial diversion program.
Mm-hmm.
Here it goes. This is where Florida gets the money. I think that's why people come on vacation and leave on probation.
Right.
Because a pre-trial diversion program in Florida is where you have to go through, I believe in this case, they have to go through childcare classes. Mm-hmm. So they have to go through these classes for a period of time. Now, being that they're from Texas, I am pretty much guessing that they're allowed to go through it in their home state. However, they do have to pay something to the court in Walton County.
Right. Got to pay the piper.
Got to pay the piper. Here's also what another consequence is. Instead of jail and the pretrial diversion program, they were also banned from the beach.
Banned from the beach. Yeah. Yeah.
How do you do that? How do you measure that?
I don't know. How are they going to, really enforce it? But I've never heard, I've been in Florida a long time, but I've never heard anybody being banned from the beach.
But how do you enforce that? I've never heard of it. But here it is. I've heard of people being banned from Walmart. Going to Walmart, they got like a wall of shame in a back room someplace where they got people's photos up there that cannot come back there and shop anymore.
Right.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The beauty supply store I go to by my house, they have that wall of shame by the front door.
Nice.
Okay. There's facial recognition software for those places. Like when you go into Walmart or Target or CVS or wherever, they are any place that you have self-checkout registers, they have facial recognition in there now.
Yeah.
The beach, though, where do you have those cameras?
They might be attached to some seagulls or some different birds or fish.
I mean, does the lifeguard have it? And he stands up there with his binoculars scanning the beach, looking for people that have been banned?
It might be some meta binoculars, possibly.
In essence, I feel that these people got off very lightly for this charge.
Yeah, they really, yeah. I don't know what to charge them because they have another kid and you don't want the kid to be parentless. But at the same time, there should be some harsher consequences for that level of stupidity.
I do think that financial, socioeconomic status played a role in this, where these people had enough money to kind of navigate through a legal system. Because most cases, you hear people leaving their kid at home, and not even a 6-month-old. I'm talking about they're leaving an 8-9-year-old at home because they can't afford childcare, and child services wants to come in and take their kid from them. Speaking
of which, I'm sure both of us are lucky that we weren't taken away.
Let me tell you.
Because I definitely was alone at 8 and 9 years old.
Me and you both, boy. I had that key tied around my neck on a piece of yarn.
Mm-hmm.
And I was coming. It was very different back then. And this is before cell phones.
Yeah.
It's solely landline for those millennials out there and Gen Zers. A landline is a phone attached to a wall or a cord coming out of a wall, and people call that number. It's not portable. I mean, toward like the 90s, it started to get portable, meaning you could walk throughout the house with the phone, but for the most part, it was attached to a cord.
Yeah. Wherever the cord went, that's as far as you could go.
That's as far as you could go. And there was, there wasn't any text messaging. My mother would write on the back of an envelope, do this, then do this.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Have this done before I get home.
Yeah. There's something on the stove for you, don't open the door. That was a standard. We ain't opening the door. I think that's part of my childhood trauma now. If I don't know you're coming to visit me and you ring my bell, I'm not answering the door.
Right. Yeah. That's stranger danger, even as an adult. I'm like, wait a second. You didn't call? You didn't text? You just show up randomly at my door? That's a red flag to me.
You know what? When I lived in Florida, you remember the house I was living at? You remember you could stand at the front door and look through the window and see into the family room?
For sure.
Someone came to visit me and I was sitting on the couch and they rang the bell and I sat there and I did not move. I didn't even turn my head to look.
And they're like, I see you. You're like, okay.
And I think she called me and she was like, I see you sitting on your sofa in your living room. I'm at your front door. I'm like, you didn't call me and let me know you were coming.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Part of my childhood that still lives on.
Yes.
I'm not opening the door for you.
Yeah.
And also the fear of answering the phone. This is before caller ID. So my mother was like, when you come in, call me at work.
Okay.
Let me know you got it. So there was no such thing as I'm going to hang out for a couple of hours with my friends. Because again, before cell phones, I had to get home and call her.
Right. Got to check in.
So she could timestamp me like I'm an employee showing up for a job to make sure I'm checking in on time.
Yes, indeed. She wrote that down in her notebook.
That was part of our world. Us Gen Xers, that's part of our world. We were very self-sufficient. That's why we could do a lot of things without supervision.
Yeah.
But today, fast forward, parents do not have the option of leaving their kids at home alone if they don't want child services to show up knocking at their door.
Yeah, it's a much different world now.
This is when my youngest daughter was younger. I looked at, they have dependent care spending accounts, flexible spending accounts. Dependent care covers child care. And I was like, okay, let me put some money aside for that so that I could reduce my taxable income. And what prompted me to also do that is that dependent care covers a child till they're 13 years old. I'm like, what child needs child care until 13? 13? I had a job by the time I was 13. These kids have to have child care at 13?
How many jobs you have?
I'm Jamaican. I had 3 jobs, man. Living color reference if you guys Google that, right? In all seriousness now, this could have turned out quite differently for this baby. Thank God it didn't, but you left a 6-month-old on the beach. Florida is like the mecca for child predators.
Mm-hmm.
Someone could have taken that child.
Yeah, quite easily.
Quite easily. That child could have rolled over and, suffocated in the sand. Like I said, I don't think the consequences were enough for the action that they took. But hopefully they've learned that lesson and they realize that you can't abandon your common sense when you're on vacation. Now, my curious side wants to know when they go back home and people ask, so how was Florida? What are they going to say?
Well, the way they acted, they're probably like, oh, it's just fine. Like, I saw you on TV. Oh, you did? How'd we look? I don't know. They just seem to be oblivious.
Yeah. They need a checklist.
Mm-hmm.
They need a checklist. When we go to the beach, what do we need when we go to the beach? What's the beach essentials? We need
umbrella,
keys, cooler,
or something to drink, towel, cell phone,
sunscreen,
yeah.
And you know what? You need your baby too.
Right, bring your baby. You gotta check it off. Yeah, put the check mark by each one.
Now, that's going to lead me into a different conversation here. We're going to pivot here. This wasn't on our agenda here, but we've mentioned consequences. I know at least a few times during our own personal conversations. Mm-hmm. And I think we are living in a world where people really aren't experiencing consequence for their action.
No.
So I'm going to use this example, right? Because I believe that social platforms have kind of limited the consequences that people experience in their day-to-day. They go on there, they say all kinds of stuff about you, and it's the keyboard and distance that are protecting them.
Mm-hmm. Keyboard warriors.
Keyboard warriors. So let me talk about, you grew up out there by the Shy, and I was in New York. You go up to someone, because I'm going to say this. We all have the right to freedom of speech.
Yes.
But there are consequences.
Yes, there are.
For that freedom. Mm-hmm. So let's say you're on the south side of Chicago.
Okay.
And you walk up to some dude and you call him a bitch.
Oh,
what is the consequence?
I might get shot. Yeah. I might get shot or stabbed. Maybe both.
Okay.
And then jump afterwards.
That's consequence, right?
Yeah.
And I think growing up in the time that we grew up in, we understand consequences, right? I remember when I was younger, we were teenagers, and my girl Karen, may she rest in peace, her older sister said something to us one time, and she said, decision you make in a split second can change the course of your life forever.
It's so
And
true.
some truth to that. There is a lot of truth to that, but I think what we're witnessing in this time is that people aren't experiencing the decisions that they're making and how it's altering their life because there's no immediate consequence, right?
Right.
If someone comes up to me and they call me a bitch or whatever, my younger self would have taken it to the streets. We would have went to hell over that. As I'm older, I understand that my reaction also has consequence.
Right.
Okay.
You can't just swing on anybody.
I can't swing on anyone because here's the deal with me. I may swing on you. No, I will swing on you. Let's rephrase that and bust your jaw, right? Because I'm that girl. I'll bust your jaw. However, I might end up in jail.
Right. Locked up like Akon.
For 30 hours. Now, here's the deal is I'll come out, but it's going to cost me to make that go away.
Right.
Okay? I'm in a place now where I can make it go away, but it's going to cost me for it to go away. Now, we're going to change that scenario here to someone that they're not worried about the consequence of their action. In your scenario, that same guy that shot and stabbed you.
Yes.
Repeatedly.
Yes.
He might be like, you know what? Winter's coming and it's cold out here. So I'll hunker down in jail out here. I'm okay with that.
Yeah. It was at three hots in the cot. I think that's the term.
Yeah. I got 3 hots in a cot. Yo, I'm good. My baby mama about to put me on child support. Let me go to jail.
Yeah.
So why I bring this up is that there are consequences to your actions and there's consequences to how somebody responds. But the difference is you don't know their willingness to accept those consequences in their response. And we're living in a really kind of turbulent time right now where people are emboldened to say whatever's on their mind and they don't experience consequence or anything like that. And I was told about there's something on Netflix. One of our listeners shared it with me. And a story about a woman that shot another mother through her front door and killed her.
Is that? I think that was in Florida, or is this another?
Yes, it's another one in Florida.
Yeah.
And it all started from this woman had a bug up her ass that these kids were outside playing, because how dare children go outside and play when the weather is conducive to playing outside?
Right.
And I don't know the details of it. I can't recall it, but somehow the mother ended up going to ring her bell and the woman shot her through the door and killed her.
That's a terrible case.
And this woman had small children. I know she had more than 2 children. And so she ends up in jail and they asked her to, write a note to the kids that now have no mother to raise them. And I was told you can see in her sitting in that room that she could not believe where she was at.
Yeah.
She couldn't believe it. She couldn't believe that she was actually in jail. And they were like, it's time to go. And she's shaking her head like, no, like she has she has a choice here right now. I am going to put myself on a swear jar on this show for every time I swear. But she said, I'm sorry, or something like that in a note. And it's not up to me to determine whether she was sincere in that response or not. But however, that is a prime example of people acting in a moment and not really thinking through consequence. And I think what we're going to enter into a day of, I think I'm seeing the signs on the wall, writing on the wall right now, is that more and more people are starting to experience consequences. It's really going to separate, I guess, the men from the boys. the ladies from the little girls, whoever, because consequences is something that people have not experienced in a long time. And I think there's a reckoning that's about to take place.
Yes, indeed.
So the lesson here, if you're in the South Side, don't go and call up anybody outside their name.
No, not at all.
Well, there we have it, folks. Jeff, please tell our listeners how they can support our channel.
You can always like, share, and subscribe. Share the show with everyone that you know. If you're listening, as always, please listen all the way to the end so we get credit. If you want to email us for a comment or just a show idea, you can email us at hilarityensewspod@gmail.com.
Okay. As always, we may not have all the answers, but we'll definitely make you think. Thank you for tuning in, and goodbye for now.
Take care.
Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of Hilarity Ensues. Our fantastic music soundtrack is brought to you by TL Music Productions exclusively for Hilarity Ensues. Be sure to connect with us on social media by following Hilarity Ensues Podcast.